Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another Theme Park Obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. Today I'm hanging out at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on Halloween Horror Nights and of course, the Fast and the Furious roller coaster construction. So how about you and I dive right in. Successfully made it inside the park, and upon arrival, some may notice all the subtle changes happening for Halloween Horror Nights. A lot of the show lighting is being installed down this main street here into the park. As you can see, no fire towers just yet, but because of all the show lighting showing up, I wouldn't be surprised here in the next few days the fire towers will go up. And because of the Power Up Cafe, I'm thinking they're gonna push them back just ever so slightly, or they could push them up front, but I don't know, I feel like that would be too much of a cluster, so we might see them further down, similar to where they were in 2016. And besides the show lighting that's at the top of the buildings, I'm not seeing any other decorations or anything. So yeah, maybe in the next week or so, they'll start decking out the front half of the park. Moving on though, look at this. Here in the Universal Plaza, they've removed all of the 60th anniversary tram decorations and photo ops. And now they're starting to load in some of the Halloween decorations you can see off in the distance there. I'm sure this will be that big giant bar like we've seen in years past, the Dia de los Muertos bar, which is always great to have. It's a nice place to sit, grab a drink, grab some snacks, take a little bit of a break from all of the mayhem that is in the scare zones and in the haunted houses. So yeah, I'm actually kind of happy they're bringing this one back. Yeah, all the Studio Tour 60th anniversary stuff ended on August 11th, so now we're in that transition period between that and obviously Halloween Horror Nights, which opens up September 5th, so they only have a few weeks to get the park all set up. So just remember, when you're here in the park, you're gonna have to walk around the Universal Plaza. Ooh, wow, look at this. That was a great shot. We have some action happening, some big pieces of, it's either steel or wood. I think it's steel. It kind of looks like a piece from a retaining wall. We'll go over there in just a minute. I'm gonna finish up with some more Halloween Horror Nights talk, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. Monstros 2 is looking great this week, and they've installed some more lighting out here to illuminate that facade. I can't wait to see it at night. There's so many little details, and just like last year's facade, they knocked it out of the park. It is gorgeous. I can't wait to step inside to check it out. Now, speaking of Halloween Horror Nights decorations, a lot of the decorations are starting to go up on French Street. Overall, this Luchador Scare Zone is gonna be so much fun, and the props are very creative. I especially love the wrestling rink near the front of French Street. And if you look very closely, if you recognize one of the monsters, well, that monster, a big giant monster in the wrestling rink, has been used a few times. And last year, he was up in the front of the park as a big abominable snowman, Harold's cousin. And now he's a different kind of monster, so that's kind of cool that they keep reusing him in different scare zones and transform his look. I'll be keeping an eye on this every single week because they'll probably add even more decorations as time goes on, as we inch a little closer to the grand opening of Halloween Horror Nights. But so far, it's looking really good. Alrighty, let's talk about the Fast and the Furious roller coaster. So much work continues to happen, and since my last video, I would say another dozen support columns have gone up. The newest additions are closest to the Timeline Road, and it looks to be a massive turnaround. This might be the turnaround into what might be the brake run or a launch section down to the second half of the coaster. The spider web of supports continue to grow every single week, and I can't wait to see some track because we know some track is staged in the upper deck, so I'm wondering where that piece is gonna go. It does look like a big turnaround section, so I'm thinking it's gonna go near that Timeline Road. And then moving to the upper deck, where they're building that huge steel structure. Yeah, that'll be the maintenance shed / show building for the coaster, and they've made some very good progress this week. They've extended it quite a bit. I don't see any additional track or supports near the brake run. That looks to be the same. And then the rest of the layout, yeah, is looking the same as well. I'm gonna go on the other side of the escalator in a little bit to check up on that side because I just feel like that side is gonna be the next big spot to receive massive columns, but I could be wrong. They could be saving that for last. And then slightly towards the left-hand side, you can see crews are getting ready to pour some concrete. I'm still just really impressed by this top section as well. Again, crews are moving so fast, and you can see this secondary level, this lower level. I'm wondering if that's where a lot of the queue is gonna go. It would be nice to have a lot of interior garage scenes, and maybe they could do a couple pre-shows or something, very similar to the Fast and the Furious attraction at Universal Studios Orlando, but thankfully this one's gonna be way better because the one over there is not good. This, on the other hand, is gonna be incredible. I cannot wait. But let's continue the journey. Let's jump on the studio tour because we can get a good view of timeline. And oh, by the way, if you're wondering what this spot over here is looking like, yeah, it's kind of looking the same. No support columns have shown up over there just yet, but just like the other side of the escalator, I think this is also going to be happening very soon as well. They could be just waiting for that concrete retaining wall to be finished, but yeah, so far so good here at Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. Last night, my buddy Drew and I from Parks Bros were talking about this coaster, and we both agreed that this might be like top 5 in California, if not this side of the country. The fact that it has a spinning element to it as well makes it even more insane. And the profiling behind me, like once you see this in person, you really get a sense of how intense this is gonna be. Like I pointed out in the previous video, like this section right here into the inversion is no joke. That elevation change is sick. I mean, look at how excited our friend George is for the coaster. And if you're wondering what my face is gonna look like going through that inversion, this is it right here. Now, as I'm making my way to the studio tour, I wanted to mention that work is progressing really nicely on other bits of the show building and maintenance bay. Lots of structural steel is inching closer and closer to the entrance of Harry Potter and, of course, the Simpsons land. This building is going to be so massive, and I can't wait to see what the renderings look like what the theming is supposed to look like upon completion. Regardless, it's going to be something you see like right when you enter the park. I mean, this is very, very large. And I know there's still a ton of work that needs to be completed. I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure work that needs to be completed, but it does make you wonder with all of this quick pace, if they're gonna open this attraction a little bit earlier. 2026 is still a ways away, but because of all this amazing progress, I'm wondering if they're a little ahead of schedule. Alrighty, it's time for the studio tour. And look, since the anniversary is over, they've switched back the banners. Thankfully, they've kept this piece of art though. I love this piece out here in the front entrance. Dang, that's kind of a bummer that they switched this one out. I like the old one better. Alrighty, just finished up with the studio tour, and we got really good views of the Fast and the Furious roller coaster and a lot of the Halloween Horror Nights goodies. Let's start off with the coaster first. Going down Timeline, yeah, you can see those supports up close and personal, and like I said in the previous videos, it's massive. That turn is gonna be so much fun. And there's a really nice elevation change right there too. Moving on to Halloween Horror Nights, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre haunted house that is located right behind Transformers is looking really good. They've taken down all the walls, revealing the facade and all the set dressing, and it looks fantastic. I love the facades this year so far, and I can't wait to see the other ones. And then moving on to Terror Tram, the studio tour is resuming its normal route now that the 60th anniversary celebration festivities are over. And on this tram ride, crews are preparing that area for Halloween Horror Nights. This is usually the route that people take for the Terror Tram. They get dropped off right there, and then they make their way through the War of the Worlds set and then get picked back up over by the Nope set. And speaking of the War of the Worlds area, near the back half of War of the Worlds, they are building a structure that looks to be very similar to the same structures that they've built in the past. Near the end of the experience, it's usually like a little walkthrough with some characters in there. And there might be a VIP experience being built as well. And they've been doing that for the past couple of years. I do hope sometime in the future though, if they're gonna keep using this route for Terror Tram, that they change up the walkthrough a little bit, like maybe add more of it. I think it would be kind of cool if there was a more, not like super elaborate, but just a longer walkthrough experience that's indoors. And another great thing today, even though the park is pretty crowded, there really wasn't a wait for the studio tour, so I'll take it. Yeah, all the stroller parking is pretty crowded today. Moving on though to the Fast and the Furious coaster, here's your look on the other side of the escalator. The first escalator, that is. And you know what? This makes sense as to why they're not putting up support columns right now. It's because of this massive concrete job they are prepping for. And I think what they're doing is building an access area for the coaster, so you can bring in some equipment here and then, you know, lift it up and inspect the coaster, do what you gotta do. Now, when it comes to the other side of the escalator, a lot of work continues to happen. Tons of concrete has been poured, and crews are preparing an all new section for even more concrete, and it looks to be a massive retaining wall. Again, really good shots of those new supports that were recently installed. They look really great, and that turn's gonna be so much fun leading into that block break section. That piece of track is still sitting in that staging area at the top deck, so I'm wondering where that's gonna go. And it's kind of hard to tell because it's curved so dramatically that I'm not really sure where in the layout it's gonna go, but we're gonna find out here in the next few weeks because I'm sure they're gonna put that bad boy into place somewhere. Overall, some great progress this week on Fast and the Furious Hollywood Drift. Made it in the Universal Studios store really quick to check out some merchandise, and I'm already seeing some new stuff over here. It's not Halloween Horror Nights related, but classic monsters. Look at this. We have some new Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff, and I actually really love some of this. Need some basketball attire? Well, they got you covered for 800 million. No, $60 for that, and they also have some shorts to match. I really like this long sleeve shirt. It's $45 for that. Yeah, I dig that. Nothing on the back, but they do have some text on the sleeve here. Ooh, look at this Creature from the Black Lagoon hoodie. See, that's probably like $60 or $70. Might be a mystery price. I cannot find the tag, and I'm not going to ruin what they just did there, so there you go. Ooh, look at this. We have some 70th anniversary Creature from the Black Lagoon pins for $19. You get 4 of them for $19. That's actually not a bad deal at all. Okay, and then I think my favorite thing so far, the Creature from the Black Lagoon button-up shirt. It is $65. And look at the print on this. That is sick. I don't know how I'd look in this color, but I feel like I could pull it off. I don't know, this is so soft. This is actually a really good quality. Ooh, and what's this? This is like a towel or a blanket or something? Oh, it's like maybe it is a blanket. I'm not really sure, but it comes with a little case right here. Let's see, how much is it? $30. Looks like there's a different one too. This is a different print on that. Oh, this is legit right here. Creature from the Black Lagoon. $30 for that. All right, I see you, Universal. I gotta hand it to them. They did a pretty good job on this merchandise. And speaking of merch, they still have a bunch of the Studio Tour anniversary things available. And what's really cool is a lot of this stuff is discounted. 50% off for select items. Okay, that's pretty much everything inside the theme park that is major to talk about this week. Let's head over to City Walk because there's a few developments happening over there. Okay, first up, the Hello Kitty Cafe, moving along really, really quickly, a lot faster than I thought. It's looking really good, and you know what? They're probably moving this fast because Halloween Horror Nights is approaching very quickly, and they probably want to get that place open in time for the Halloween Horror Nights crowds. I feel like a lot of these places on City Walk make most of their money during Halloween Horror Nights. Universal also announced some new escape rooms coming to City Walk. And you know what? Since they're working on this back half next to Buca di Beppo and Margaritaville, I'm thinking this is where they're gonna go. Escapology is doing the escape rooms. I love escape rooms, and you know what? I gotta do one soon because it's been quite some time. I think the last one I did was at the Basement, which is a really good one here in Los Angeles. It's super immersive, it's incredible. And with that, I think that is gonna do it for today's Universal Studios Hollywood video. Now, before I officially close it out, for those wondering about Halloween Horror Nights, well, I will be doing a survival guide like I have in the past, so don't worry, that video will be coming out here very, very soon. It'll come out just in time for the event. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you can let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel and you love these videos from Universal Studios Hollywood or some of your other favorite theme parks, well, you should consider subscribing because I have brand new videos every single week. Don't forget to check out my Instagram account and X account. Those links will be down below in the description. And if you want to help out the channel even more, you can do so by hitting the super thanks button. But until the next video, I hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.